to our 6 AM start, out for another adventure. Alright, we are set to go. About to head on out with our early start. We are in Chili Goulburn, or as the Americans might say, Goulburn. About to start our trip for the day. It's been quite windy and pretty cold on the way down here, so we'll see what it's like once we get further inland. As Paul was just pointing out how fast the clouds are moving, it is quite windy out here today. So, see what the weather holds in store for us later on. Okay, so we're down at the start of the trail we're doing today, which is the Caves to Caves trip. We haven't gone down to Wombeyan Caves. Wombeyan Caves is actually down that road there, down that way. As you can see, the sign over behind us here, Wombeyan Caves. We came in from Taralga, and if you continue down the road here, you'll hit Wombeyan Caves, but we've bypassed that and just going straight in off Langs Road, straight down this way, and head out towards Mount Werrong, down to Dingo Dell, and maybe later on today finish up out towards Oberon. So we'll see how we go from here. It's quite chilly at the moment, and let's see what the weather does for us. For the most part, this trail's nothing too intense. It's a fire trail, and it's sometimes regularly graded as well, so it's nice and flat, smooth. There is a few parts later on that have some hill descents and a few little water crossings, which are fun to do. We've already hit our first hassle, and this is what I actually kind of feared, because we don't have a chainsaw or anything to be cutting trees off the trail. So I'm going to have a look and see if I can potentially high side it up here, get around it.
Well, we're trying to overcome our first obstacle. Bit of heavy lifting, but we got it done. Nice work.
Alright, so we did take a bit of a wrong turn.
Don't tell them wrong turn.
Well, it wasn't really a wrong turn. We
Researching.
didn't take the turn. But we did see some nice scenery that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. And now we're on the right track, heading down towards Urandri, though we're not turning off to Urandri because I believe it's still closed because they had a massive subsidence on the road. The whole road gave way. But we're gonna, when we get to the junction, we're gonna turn left and head out towards Mount Werrong, through Dingo Dell, and then on to Canangara Walls later on. Bit of a bumpy section here. Oof.
It's like a hurricane. Windy as hell.
We've only passed 2 other cars and 3 motorbikes, so there's not a lot of people out today. That or they're already at campsites, just enjoying the weekend. So we've just pulled into the Mount Werrong camp area just for a bit of a break, go to the toilet, stretch our legs, etc. Doesn't look like too bad a little camp area if we did decide to come out here and do a full weekend and camp one time. There's a toilet up there. Paul's already broken the seal. I think before next trip I'm going to have to get him a special seat for the car. This is a map of the area. Now basically what happened originally is we came in this way from Taralga up to Richlands along Wombeyan Caves Road, and we went in this little track here which is Langs Road, but then I made the mistake of turning right and it was taking us back down towards Wombeyan Caves when I should have went left up towards Range Fire Trail. Then if we decided to, you can follow it along this way, yep, which is where we went, up along Range Fire Trail to the end, and then if you turn right, it's about a 50k drive down into Urandri. Now, not too long ago, it was on the news that they'd basically had to close the road down into Urandri, and the few people who do live down in the little township there were trapped in because the road had basically completely subsided. When we got to this junction here, there was nothing saying that it was closed, but I kind of don't want to take a 50-kilometre drive to get 49 kilometres into it and then find that it's closed and we've got to turn around and come back. I mean, you do have to turn around in Urandri and come back anyhow because there's no way out of it. It's one way in, one way out, so we would have been driving back anyhow even if we did go to Urandri. But for the purpose of today, we're going to turn left we're now here, and we're going to head out, take this Banshee Road, then the Cowmung River, down through Dingo Dell, do the Cowmung River crossing, go out to Canangara Walls, then head back out. Instead of going down through Jenolan Caves, we're going to go out to Oberon, come back, then maybe come back in, not even filming the map properly, come back in the other way and do 6-foot track back through to Katoomba. There is a bit of a shelter, so if you did decide to camp down here, I mean, the polite thing to do would obviously be camp outside, but if the weather became too harsh, you could always sort of move yourself in under the shelter here. Looks like what previously was a shower. And we have the hut code for visitors. Huts are for temporary refuge only, not for accommodation. So you're not necessarily meant to camp in there, but if the weather was extremely harsh, I dare say if you were in there with a stretcher and a sleeping bag, it would be a very cruel ranger that would come along and kick you out. Bit of different terrain out through the big pine plantation here on Banshee Road, however you pronounce it, heading out towards Canangara and then onto Canangara Walls. It's just dozens and dozens of roads and trails that crisscross everywhere. You could quite easily spend an entire day just in this section checking out every little side trail. Trails off to the side there. Okay, so we just had another four-wheel driver pull up and tell us that the road up ahead, gate's locked. We can't get down through Dingo Dell and do the Cowmung River crossing, which is a bit of a disappointment because it's actually quite a nice crossing. I was looking forward to it. I was going to make Paul walk crotch deep through freezing cold water to get to the other side and film me crossing.
I was ready.
So we're going to turn around, find our way out onto Jenolan Caves Road, and then maybe turn back in and then go down to Canangara Walls anyhow. So we'll find an alternative route here. So there we go. Okay, so we had to make a turn off, and we just did about 40 kilometres of blacktop road around towards Jenolan Caves, and we've come into the entrance now on the road that takes us down to Canangara Walls. So we're going to head down to Canangara Walls and have a bit of a look at the scenery down there. It's well worth the trip and the walk out to the lookout. So we're just taking a bit of a moment to stretch our legs and just take a short little break here, and then we'll be hitting a little bit of dirt again. This is a pretty smooth road down there because it's a popular spot and people go in there in just their cars and vans and everything. But over the course of the day so far, we started here at Taralga, up through along that way, up there, made that bit of a mistake, went there, turned around, back along to here, took the road out to Mount Werrong there, which is where we stopped and had a bit of a break and found that hut. Came along this way, we got onto Banshay Road, we got as far as turning off down Cowmung Road, but we didn't get as far as Dingo Dell because that's where we bumped into those other four-wheel drivers who told us the road was closed. So we came back out Banshay Road. If I'm not wrong, we then went down this way, hit bitumen, came up, we've come along, up, all the way up to here, towards Oberon, turned off, down through Edith, and now we're over here at just near Jenolan Caves on the Canangara Walls track, and we're going right down here to Canangara Walls. So if you want to sort of try and follow that on the map, you can just pause the video and have a look at it there. Paul's enjoying the trip. He's into the bacon cheddar cheese sticks. I have to eat and snack when we stop, but what I need is one of those things like they have in the rat cages, like a bottle with water and food in it. I can just nom, 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 as we're driving along, and a little steel ball on the end to keep myself nourished. We're all good. My beautifully clean engine bay isn't that dirty, just a few little splashes, so all is good in the world. There is an additional bushwalk that goes down the hill there and walks all the way out to, if I can keep this camera steady and zoom in, there's a waterfall all the way over there in the distance. Oh no, look out, cliff! So that was Canangara Walls. By the looks of things now, we're just gonna, we can't go down through Jenolan Caves because there was a big sign saying no access without prior booking, so we're gonna have to head out to Oberon, then go from Oberon back home via the Blue Mountains. So maybe we'll find a track or two along the Blue Mountains somewhere to check out before we do call it a day. Righty, we're back at the end of Canangra Walls Road again. About to hit Tar and head home. Been a nice day out. The trails out here aren't extremely tough. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, we didn't get to do the Dingo Dell or the Cowmung River crossing. For those, you would need a four-wheel drive at least. You wouldn't get across them in a two-wheel drive car. And it doesn't really have to be a highly modified four-wheel drive either. My car's not all that modified. All it's really got is, the guy I bought it off has just lifted the back end up a bit, and I eventually want to put some lift in the front just to level it out so it doesn't have that nosedive. And then, you know, maybe just add extended breathers, some new tyres, a slightly bigger size, and go from there.
Open the fucking...
Paul's about to dive into some deep dish flavoured, deep dish pizza flavoured cheese curls. And I have to say, one of the most amusing things about the purchase of these chips was watching him verbally apologise to a packet of chicken twisties for putting them back on the shelf and choosing these instead.
Three hours to go, you said?
Pizzery. Oh yeah. Yeah.